I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Wow, I don't even know where to get started. We have so much energy starting right now, and I just wanted to come on here live because everybody's messaging me and everything and asking me all kinds of questions, and I want to help everybody understand this crazy time right now. And my heart goes out to all the people that have gone into the plane crash and the planes. I did say I see plane accidents, and I want to explain what's going on right now. I've heard all kinds of things. It's Trump, liberals. Like, it's just so ridiculous that we're still divided and we're still blaming each other. So first of all, everybody put that to the side and let's just come together. Politics are on both sides of politics. There is always somebody higher up and there is a puppet. I will talk a little bit about Trump, though, too, about the fall of USA, as I've been talking about too. Hey, Stacy, I see some people coming in here live. Joni, Carrie. And if you guys have any questions, I'll try to answer them here too. I am going to answer some of them that was on Facebook and TikTok. It went viral, and I had a lot of questions there too. So let's first talk about why the planes are crashing. If you didn't already listen to, I keep you mostly updated on Spotify, on Magical You is my podcast, and there they can't take me down. I have had a podcast for over 15 years. I have been predicting for over 20 years. I'm a medium psychic. I've been a medium psychic since the age of 5. Been a professional medium psychic for over 20 years, and just by name of a person or a pet, I can tune in and see the past, present, future. I can tell you everything, their health, intuitive, everything. And then I can also, the universe talks very loud to me. I can tap into the future of the universe, as I have been for many years, and see what's coming up. And I even predicted COVID before it came up. And I've been doing this for so long that there's so much stuff that I can share, because a lot of people can't even understand when I go way too far in the future. And so I want to talk about now, because everybody's becoming awakened, and what the years are. First of all, we moved into 2025. So 2025, this is the year. There's so much going on here. So I'm going to kind of like put it in layers what's going on. Back in, and you can listen to all of my podcasts. I have podcasts talking about the fall of the USA. Probably about 6 months ago, what's going to happen this year with everything, with all the structures. So we moved into 2025, and yes, Pluto has moved into Aquarius times. People say, oh, it was back in 2024. It was, but then it moved back out, and now it's officially back in January 20th. And is what this means, there's a couple different layers of 2025. So number one, we're moving into Pluto, moving into Aquarius times, and we've been in Capricorn times. And I have a rising Capricorn. I'm a Taurus. That's why I think also the Earth. I can feel Mother Earth to a T. I can tell when those earthquakes are coming, when those mudslides are coming, when the tsunamis are coming. Not only do I have premonitions and I see it, and I see it way far in advance, I can feel it and know it, and just know where it's going to go. So if you are an Earth sign, and this is going to affect all signs. Okay, so hi Black Star player, thanks for joining me here live. If this is going to affect all signs, we moved from an era, like our whole entire lives pretty much, we've been in earth and water. Okay, so even if you don't know astrology, we've been living through structures. And so Capricorn is structures. Capricorn is, they like structures. When I say structures, that's the government, that's the school system, that's the money system. Everything there is a structure, falls under a structure. We were indoctrinated to believe the system since the day we were born. And I go much deeper in this because I don't want to go into all of that. So we started that since a very young age, okay? And we were also back in the people-pleasing years. People-pleasing years are about, we shifted out of the people-pleasing years. If you don't have millennial kids, know this by now, that they are the truthers and they're not people-pleasing kids. I have 5 kids from 32 down to 17. Total different energy. If we know the new kids, they're not people-pleasers, but they live their truth, right? So we were in the people-pleasing years, in the very beginning of the times. The school system, everything indoctrinated system was for people-pleasing years. We did everything Did you even know that the school system was actually made back then? The structure of the school system from the beginning of time was made for factories, for factory workers. You go in, you sit at the bell. We had people pleasing times there. We would listen, we would be there listening to the teacher. And that was people pleasing time. So we've lived this structure, and this is all we know because that's where we were at, right? That's what we know is what we've been living. We've done that in the money system and the school system and everything, right? So this was those times. And we've been unwinding these really since 2020. We know how 2020 kind of crashed everything and started all fresh and new. And so we started then questioning things. And we also started the awakening. The awakening means you're here right now. If you're not, if you're here right now, you are awakened, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. You'd be like, oh, this is BS and this stuff isn't happening. You are aware, and your conscious mind is seeking and it's growing, and it's starting to question all of that indoctrination that we've been told and taught and kept us small. Oh, thank you, Pookies. Pookies, like the name there. So I just got out of bed, so thank you, because I was like, oh my God, I was so tired. So we've been all in the system forever, right? And so those systems are crashing and going out. And I've been saying this, it's going to happen like this. It's not just like in the old days. It would take 20 years for something to be invented and elevated and grow, right? Think of the computers. Think of our computers and how technology has taken off from then, right? And our cell phones. Like right now, I'm working on my cell phone here, and this is what I've been working on. I've been working online for 20 years, so this has been my industry, but it's gone really big since 2020. So we have all these times that we've been unraveling, and these systems. We go to school, we get married, we go to college, we start a job, we stay in that job forever. This is a really old system, right? That is the way that my parents, my father, if he was still alive, would be 100. My mom is 88. They had me older, but that was the system, and that was what we're taught, and that's what we did because we become robotic. We just go through the system and do exactly what we're told, and we were people pleasers. So now we have the time of the truth years. No longer are people pleasing years here. And we move now into this new energy, because what it is really new energy. It's a new paradigm. And so when Pluto moved into Aquarius times, which was in January 20th, we have moved into a whole different element we've never ever been in. Like we've never explored this ever. For me, it's super cool because I've been predicting since I've been feeling energy, reading energy since I was teeny tiny, and I've been predicting for 20 years. And it's kind of like the same thing. I'm just like, oh, here comes a new system, and I see it, and I see what's going to happen, and now it's growing tense and tense. Now I go into it and I'm like, wow, we're going to see like aliens and UFOs and new inventions that we don't even have yet. Like we have stuff that we're going to elevate and be in this whole new space technology energy that we've never been in, because that's what I'm talking about. We moved out of that earth, which earth, I'm a Taurus, so I like stability. We're slow. We were in that energy. It was a system. We stayed in the system. The system felt safe. And so the systems have to fall, and they have been falling. They've been unwinding, especially since 2020. But now it's just like boom, 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 boom. And then this brings, you're an so now this, then get off my station. If you're sitting here absolutely nobody, then get off. I have no problem with that. Why are you here? So the next thing is that comes in, and if you're a troll, just like get off. So we're in this new system, and so now this is where all the energy is changing, and now we're in the air fire system. So now the electrical energy, which I've been talking about, the planes crashing, which I knew they were going to crash, and I just channeled to like where the energy is really going haywire. And I did this on my podcast on Magical You on Spotify. So there's this area right within the sky. The new energy is electric. It's a high energy, high vibration. And you have these planes that have been around here for a long time. So the energy and the vibration of the engines are not matching with that energy. And it's going to be really interesting, especially moving into March, because March we have Mercury going retrograde, and we have also eclipse season. So we have two big whammies of energies that are really going to electrify this. And it's like taking a car radio from the old days car and putting it into electrical radio now, or into a new car now. The frequency is off. And that's what we're seeing. And we're going to be seeing more planes crash on a day, almost daily. I see planes, I see helicopters, I see the electrical vibration not being able to, and I see it going into the engines and kind of blowing up the engines. Or I feel it's going to go into the tower, because that's also, think about electronical. It's electric, it's a vibration, it's a frequency. We are all frequency beings. So it's a frequency, and that frequency isn't able to like merge, or I don't know, I just see it like not be able to come together. So I actually feel that planes will be even maybe crashing into each other because they can't see each other, or they're not getting the response from the tower. So so the thing of you guys asking me, would you fly? I'm never ever gonna, I would never do that responsibility. Even if you asked me in a reading, I'm not flying, and I'm pretty much a rebel, and I pretty much will go and do things, and I'm fearless. Like back during COVID times, I would go, and a whole bunch of people, I don't care, because I know that I won't get sick. But this is a little different because the vibration is so different that we're going to continue to see this. And if anything, I do feel it will intensify. I feel it will intensify as we get into March, as we get into the Mercury going retrograde and the eclipse season. Mercury rules communication. So even just in general, during Mercury retrograde, flights are usually always delayed. I usually fly during Mercury retrograde. My flight usually always gets delayed. Flights will be delayed. There will be communication issues. That's what Mercury retrograde, that's what Mercury rules. So you have that, and then on top of it, you have eclipse season. So you got two things here. Eclipse means things will be eclipsing out of your life. I've been doing readings for 20 some years. I am a medium psychic too. So I'm a medium. So I deal with death. Not only, and I'm also a pet psychic and pet medium. So eclipse season always things, and you will see this. You will see this in your own life, but you can see it in the news, you can see it wherever, which I would tell you not to watch the news because it's negative, but you will see people dying. This is a doorway when it's a doorway to a whole different dimension where people and pets will leave the planet. So we're going to see this, especially this time, because now we're in the year of the snake. So we got all of these sheddings of the skin. We got major, major endings and major, major beginnings. And for endings, for the new beginning to happen, it's got to be like this. And this is why we have Trump. Trump is going to just rip that band-aid, whether you love him or hate him. He's going to rip that band-aid off, and he's going to get all of this change so fast that by the end of 2025, we're going to live in a whole different country, United States. And then we have United States that's falling more than any other country. It's starting right here because we have the United States is the karma. This is the year of the karma. So karmically, Hollywood, look at Hollywood, celebrities, we have the sex trafficking, we have all of this stuff that's been around for many, many years. I actually remember when I first moved out to California, I used to live in Santa Barbara, and I moved out there 2012. And I've had clients, I've had celebrities as my clients, senators, all kinds of high-end clients, and I can see the back end. And I remember then knowing about the tunnels because I was working with a police officer and a CIA on finding missing people. And I remember back then on seeing tunnels underneath, and it was a real thing. And I remember when that was the first time that my eyes were really open to it, that I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, what? And there are tunnels that run everywhere. Where all those fires were, there's tunnels underneath there, and there is sex trafficking. It's a huge, huge thing. So it's Ginny March sounds like a blast. Yeah. So, people have asked me about my goddess retreat. I was going to have a goddess retreat in Sedona, like I always do, and I was going to do it in May. I don't know right now. I've kind of put it to the side right now because I'm kind of waiting to see exactly how March goes and how everything is. I'm just going to stay at home in March. Might be a great idea. So just so that's up to you. I would just two crashes. Yeah, I heard that there was like 4 or 5 crashes already. I don't know. I heard there was a lot. I'm looking at your guys' questions here. Somebody also asked me about cruise lines, which is a great question. I thought that was really good question about cruise lines. I don't, on top of the regular March retrograde and on top of that normal stuff, I don't feel them crashing. But the other concern with this, the other big thing that we have coming up is flooding. We're going to see major, we're moving into Pisces. Well, actually, right now, even in the end of February, March. Yes, I agree. March is going to be a month. It's going to be a doozy. I also see there's going to be major weather. So, in other words, if you are on a cruise and you go out into the water, then yeah, there could be storms. I don't feel though the cruises are going to be crashing like the planes. I've been seeing anything going up into the air. I see the engines blowing. I feel that there's going to be something with the frequency, and we are all frequencies. And you got to Google CERN, CERN. I do believe a lot of this is from CERN. CERN has speed up the time. CERN has done so much stuff looking for that that God particle that has actually screwed up a lot of things. And we have weather modification, and I also feel that that's some of the things going on too. There's a lot of denseness. There's like a lot of stuff in the air, and we're moving into a higher frequency, and we're moving into air and fire. So back to the earth and water. We've never been in this, and this is for the next 23 years. And think about it. We've already gone out on a bang, and this is just started. It just started January 20th. I mean, what? We're like it's only been like a week. So we're going to continue to see that quickening space of things happening really, really fast. But also, I feel that the planes, like when I tapped into it, I actually feel there might be so many accidents that they might ground them or they might go in there and look at it. So the other thing people were asking me about is the cyber tech. I do believe cyber tech. I think it's going to be in the water. So that's the next thing I would tell you is to have a lot of water. I don't think this is a cyber attack though. Or if it is, I don't know. I just don't see that. And I feel if anything will be in the banking because next we're going to see the banking fall. It's already started. It's going to fall. And people have asked me about that too, the banking fall. I feel it's changing. Maybe that's a better word. It's a change. We're going to go into digital coin or some kind of coin base. And so we are going to, and the big banks are going to start closing. Mind you, this is the number 9 year. Number 9 is ending. So major, major endings will be happening. This is the shedding of the skin. Think of the snake, the kundalini, the clearing out the old. So in your own life, I don't want people to fear it. It's a beautiful time because we're going to be clearing out what no longer serves us. And when this eclipse energy comes in, which knowing that eclipse energy really starts about 6 weeks before. So you're going to start seeing people leave the planet, pets leave the planet, both of these about 6 weeks before. So really it's going to start about in the middle of February when you're going to start seeing this. And then eclipse season lasts for 6 months. It's not just like right now, it will last for that 6 months. And then we have Mercury retrograde on the same day of the eclipse. So this is going to be a doozy. I think it's March 14th is the day they both happen. If you have dogs or animals that have seizures, or if you have seizures too, but especially I see the dogs. If you have dogs that have seizures, this is always a big time that I see my pet clients that have seizures, that they can have those, especially around eclipse. So if you are on seizure medicine or if you're not on seizure medicine for your dogs, I would get them ASAP because it is going to be a big time. Knowing also this is the time when things end for us. So eclipse season means those relationships, those jobs, those things that just we've outgrown and aren't great for us anymore, they're going to leave. You cannot hold them together. If that relationship that you've been trying your hardest and you outgrew it and it's not going to sustain, it's not going to last through an eclipse. Now, there again, it could take the whole 6 months. It's not just going to start right in the beginning, but that 6 months is the eclipse season. So we're going to continue to see this energy going from then. So, yeah, we're going to see so many people. And I said this, I remember seeing things fall out of the sky. And I said, I hope they're not planes because I just see planes falling apart for many reasons. They're old. The frequency isn't rhyming with that. I do think that they're going, this is where I think the trains, the bullet trains, we're going to start seeing more people drive, obviously. And then they'll have I do see I already feel they have new things. So they already have new planes and helicopters and all kinds of stuff. They already have those. But I don't know. And I thought about this today too. So think of this. Think if you're a pilot or, that's your job. I mean, that's scary as hell. That's your job, right? So it's not like we just can decide not to fly. But think about them. This is like shutting down their jobs. And it's also putting their life online. And that sucks. I'm just going to say it sucks. And so I was thinking about that is like, so if they, yeah, I see, because I really do feel that there's going to be so many accidents. And it's not just going to be American Airlines, although I thought that was really interesting on how American Airlines has had. I also thought it was very interesting. Somebody asked me about the number 11 and 33. 33 is a master number. So I don't know. I haven't read into that, but people were asking me about that, which is really interesting. And then we're in a number 9, which is also a master number. So I don't know if all that correlates together. I haven't really channeled that recently, but somebody was asking me that. So anybody have any questions here? When it comes to flying, I'm never ever going to tell you what to do. I'm not flying. And that's how much, if people know me, because I don't put fear into anything. They were like, "Oh, you're not flying." It was like the hurricane. I was going to evacuate with somebody here locally during Milton. And I told her I was waiting. It was the hurricane was supposed to go to Tampa. And I said, no, it's coming to Sarasota. Probably like 2 weeks before it was even coming here, I'm like, it's going to hit Sarasota. And probably about 4 days before the hurricane, I said, I'm going to evacuate. And I was begging my friends to evacuate. And then they knew, oh my God, if Vickie's evacuating, we got to evacuate. So this is how I feel about flying. I am not flying. And my stomach is very tight for any of my friends or anybody that's flying. Of course, put a white bubble around you. Listen to your intuition. Do what your intuition tells you. That's what I have to tell you. But I'm going to say, and I know there's always crashes. There's crashes in cars. There's crashes in planes. But we're going to see a much more, the vibration. It can't be there. So if things can't move into a vibration, if this plane that normally goes has an engine, and maybe it's a certain engine, I don't know. Maybe it's a big plane, or well, no, because I think it was a little plane. I think they've been all sizes that have crashed, right? I mean, I know that the helicopter ran into it, but I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that I see them blowing the motors, and I see them, I don't know. And my suggestion would be I'm going to re-look at it. People have asked me. I'm going to re-look at it. And I had a full goddess retreat too. So I'm waiting and pushing that out. That's how much. I'm going to re-look at it after April, because Mercury goes retrograde to the middle of April. So that's my thoughts. That's what I see. That's what I'm seeing around it. We're going to continue to see more technology. So maybe they'll like pop up a new plane here. But I do feel they're going to ground it or look at something. I'm also seeing something with the as I'm reading it right now. I'm looking at the FAA system. So there may, yeah, it's going to get glitchy, especially around Mercury retrograde. So that means glitchy means, just like if you've had your cell phone the other day in Verizon, I said it was going to get glitchy. And if you had Verizon, we didn't have phone service for like an hour. At least I didn't know. Ocala and some other people up there in Ocala didn't have it. So that's what I'm talking about, is this glitchiness. I think I answered everybody's questions. And the trolls can go away. Oh, hey, Mike. Mike has a great question. It could happen right away, or maybe part in, maybe the whole 6 months. Wow, people are going. Yeah, they're going to lose their jobs. Yeah, well, they are going to. Oh, Jenny, that stinks with you. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. Well, let me ask Jenny and ask the pilots. If you guys have pilots, if you guys have friends that are in the industry, maybe they know if it's a specific plane that has a certain engine that is, having issues. And they have to also know with the FAA, because I feel that there's going to be coming some kind of, something's going to come out with that. Texas is going to pull out. You're going to see this year, you're going to see that the whole United States is going to be changing. And watch, I actually feel California is going to pull out too. Watch this show. What was the show? Oh, The Man in the High Castle. Everything this year is just falling apart. So it's going to continue to be that way. I've always said 2025 is the year of change. And we're going to see it so fast. As it's already been. It's only been, what, a week or 2 weeks since Trump has been, the president, and we're already seeing so many rules and laws and all kinds of stuff. It's only gonna continue, and this is why you need to look at Man in the High Castle. Man in the High Castle is kinda where I see us going, that and extinction. West coast of Canada, I haven't really tapped into Canada, to be honest with you. Well, oh, you mean the Ring of Fire? The Ring of Fire is definitely coming alive. I mean, it already has come alive. You're going to see, I mean, there's been hurricanes in Antarctica, I mean, in up there in Alaska, there's been hurricanes. So I actually feel that's the hot spot. So I don't know where you're at in Canada. I do feel Antarctica, Canada, sorry, Antarctica, Alaska, and then Oregon. Yeah, there's a huge volcano up there. So anything that's volcanic in that ring of fire, if you're around the ring of fire, then yes, the ring of fire, because it goes around to Hawaii and it goes all the way around to Asia. So I see all of that starting to like percolate. And I mean, that's what this year's all about, is Kundalini and fire. So it's going to be flooding and fire. But you can't, I don't think I see tsunamis up there, but I do feel there's going to be some major storms, definitely going into the rainy season, because the rainy season there'll be mudslides and we have Pisces, and there's going to be global flooding. You know, you could go look at other astrologers, they're saying the same thing. So global flooding for sure. And even I live in Florida, and I see major, any storms this year are going to be major because it's back to ending. So if there's a hurricane, just like we had the storms right now where it was really cold up in the Midwest and different parts of the United States, I do feel that also is going to intensify. When it comes to Florida, yeah, I mean, I see major storms. And then wherever the cities are, the 15-minute cities, that's what's also going to be big. And the 15-minute cities are major cities. So there'll be Miami, Columbus, Ohio, Louisiana, you know, California, you got San Francisco, you got LA, you got where right now where the fires are. They're going to be putting the 15-minute cities up there, especially for Olympics. You're just, it's just a change. That's what exactly what I'm saying. It's not to fear. Somebody asked me about that too. It's like, what can you do to prepare? You can't really do anything to prepare. I think it's just a time to surrender, not go into fear, and just to, it's going to change. Like the whole earth is going to change whether we go into fear or not. So it's like work with it. Just be in the flow and trust your intuition. The cool thing is our awakening is coming up like crazy. Your intuition is on. Like it's going to be so high and so on. So your intuition, you feel, you listen through your feelings, and it's going to change so fast. Like we have so many quantum leaping right now. We've never had that. We've never ever lived in a time like this. So even something you plan like a week from now, it could totally change because it could quantum leap into another time zone. Like that's how fast I'm seeing things. Things that used to take 20 years to manifest are going to take like maybe a year. Like it's going to be so fast, these timelines and time leaps, and we can manifest whatever we want. So that's the coolest thing. You are the creator of manifesting. So whatever you put out there is going to happen so fast, and you're going to change that. So you know, we can't hold on to things, and the old systems do have to go. The school system is so outdated. These new kids are so telepathic and so evolved in so many ways, and to try to learn school like how we did, I mean, it was boring as hell when we were in school. So imagine for these children. So the school system, the money system's so stupid too. So all of these systems are, we've outgrown, and they're going to be different. The biggest thing I can tell you is to be self-sustaining. That's for anything. When you are in your most power is when you're self-sustaining. The whole thing with eggs, they're only going to go up in price. So if you can get your own chickens, if you're an egg eater, get your own chickens. You know, learn how to know how to build things, know how to do things. That's what I feel is the best thing to do. And you know, also get wherever you're in alignment with state-wise, because we are going to see, I mean, we already see civil war. We're already in a major civil war, and we're only going to see the intensify of that. And the United States is going to be the one that's going to really go down the most. And then, you know, United States will flood out to the other, it'll go globally, but United States is where we're seeing the tear down. So is what I'm saying is like, even in a year, we're going to look at United States, it's not going to look the same. The earth is dying, Our systems are dying. This is the year of the snake for endings, where new things can be rebuilt up. So be the person, do the thing that you want to rebuild. We're going to be working different. We're going to be working authentically. We're going to be living authentically. We're not going to be people pleasing days anymore. So those are gone. Unfortunately, a lot of relationships are not going to be there because a lot of relationships were actually wounded bounding. They were there from wounds. So, those things are going to change. We're not going to see as many kids being born. There's a lot of things there with that, with the vaccines. And I don't want to say a lot of stuff because they'll take me down. But, we have so many things there also, too. People have also asked me about, being sick. Yeah, absolutely. Because they're putting things into our air and into our food. And when's the last time you've eaten anything really good? Like everything tastes gross now. And we pay all this money for this gross food. So, if you can get self-sustaining and grow your own food, which there's all different things. You can grow it inside now. There's all different things. The only other thing that I'm bummed about that I really miss is the sun. I live in Florida where we barely see the sun because now there's so much cloud coverage, which isn't really clouds, and we barely see the sun. So the vitamin D that we are absorbing, we're not going to be as healthy because that's what vitamin D does, right? Vitamin D boosts up your immune system. It also boosts up your GABA and your hormones. It makes you happy. So I would do an infrared light. I have my infrared light I work with every single day. It's not only great for you, it's great for your pets, even the horses that I work with outside. Yes, all this one. Yes. So anyways, anything else? Any other questions here before I go? You trolls can just get off if you don't want to be on here. See ya. Oh, Denise, I'm so sorry about your dog having seizures. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, um, yeah, make sure because we are going to go into that and think about this. We have this high energy, and so we're in the crown chakra. So this could be other people too. You could be getting more headaches. Your physical body could be getting not feeling good either, and especially with your heads of sinuses. Like my voice has changed because my sinuses, because of going outside and inhaling this crap and fog and all kinds of stuff that we've been having. That's also affecting our animals. I've been seeing it affect our animals so much that even my puppy walked outside when we had fog and came in and like fainted. And I swear she was having a seizure too. I've never ever seen this before. And it freaked me out. Also, I've never seen that. And I've been seeing this more in pets. So if it is foggy out or they've been spraying a lot, then keep the animals inside. Do not, know that they're also getting it. The other thing I've been seeing too is my horses that I work on, the spray has been going into, the hay. So I'm kind of thinking that growing food inside, unless you can do a greenhouse, is good because you got to think about that, the stuff that they're spraying in the air and then it gets on the food. So there's only so much that we can do with that. Mine is just the power of thought. When I eat something, this is healthy for me, and the belief and the energy that goes around that, that's what we do. So that's the only thing that I don't like about these new times. We're going to see so much change, and it's going to happen so fast. That's all I have to say. So I wanted to come on here about the planes. Don't be surprised. We are going to continue to see more planes crashing. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them already having, they're going to come out with something. So, but I feel like it's going to be like maybe the end of fall before we get this new plane that I see different motors. I see them making them different. They're already in the works. So maybe then they'll bring it out, but I'm sure they have to do testing on those too. So everybody stay safe. Um, Yeah, the 6 months, Mike just asking about 6 months. Well, 6 months is eclipse season. So I just want to clarify that. It can last for 6 months. So for example, you're in this relationship and you should have left it a long time ago. And maybe the first part of the 6 months that it just started, it doesn't, happen, right? And then moving in, then it does. So it intensifies. I feel the most intense part of everything, it's going to be March, and especially around Easter. Easter always, all 20 years. Easter's always been a time when I see amplified, worldwide, amplified, kind of like anger, wars usually come in. And then we also have, people leaving the planet. So it's going to be interesting because we have this one during Mercury retrograde, or it's around Easter. I don't know when Easter is, because I know April 7th is when Mercury goes back to normal, but the eclipse season's that whole time. Yeah, so it's for up to 6 months. Yes, it's up to 6 months, if that makes sense there. All right, I think that's all the questions I have here, right? One last question. You're welcome. You're welcome, Anna. Um, are you feeling another lockdown? I don't think so. I'm actually feeling people locking themselves in themselves. I don't feel it's going to be like 2020. Think about it. If we're not flying, we're kind of like here, or we're driving, right? So I don't see a lockdown. We won't stand for it. So I don't see that. I feel that people are too divided already, and there's a civil war already going on, and I don't see that. People won't put up with that shit anymore. They'll be like, not doing that. I saw this cool video about a new plane where the fuselage break away from the cockpit and it has a parachute so it can land either. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so that'd be cool, Jenny. I just don't think they're gonna come out that soon though with those. Maybe they're in testing. This could, also be why the bullet trains are going to be sped up too. Maybe the bullet trains, they've already had those, but they're going to be doing more of those just to for a new way of traveling. And then this is where it's important right now to get to where you want to be. And you're going to see a lot of people move out of the United States. I mean, we already know that people are leaving the United States, but we're also going to see a lot of people move out because they're not going to like the rules, the laws, the new, all that. But you want to get to the state that you agree with, because that state is going to start having more and more say. And it's going to be interesting because I looked at Newsom the other day, and there's a lot with Newsom and political and how he's all tied in with the Gettys. He's tied in with a whole bunch of people over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of pulls out. The United States will definitely break down. So that means states will do their own thing. I mean, they already have, but they're going to be more where I don't know if it's going to continue to be United States. So I don't know if like Newsom will pull out, California will pull out and be their own country. And that's why The Man in the High Castle was very interesting. You got to watch that show. It's like, whoa, this is what I kind of see us, not all the way, but I could see little aspects of that show being us, knowing that they show us on TV what they're going to do. So there, all of those TV shows and the ones that I said, Extinction is a movie. Stranger Things is the Netflix show, which is all about CERN and aliens. We're going to see aliens. We're going to see UFOs. They've already admitted to it. All governments have already admitted to this. So we're going to see more of those. There's shapeshifters. There's all kinds of things out there. And we're not going to be shocked. That's the other thing. Like, look at the drones. Nobody talks about those anymore. So it's so interesting, right? Like, nobody talks about it. And I don't even know if they're up. I haven't heard about them. And we're going to see plasma. That's an interesting thing. One last thing here I want to talk about, because I don't know much about this because I don't watch the news. So I guess the Vatican during Christmas time, which the Vatican, you talk about evil. Oh my God, that's the epitome of evil. And he talk about sex trafficking. Let's hope I stay up. He opened up some doorway. And knowing that before this, we were all seeing plasma, right? Plasma's like this liquid, like plasma, those orbs people were getting pictures of. They were not drones, they were like little orbs and stuff. People were getting pictures of those. And they were like all floating around. And plasma is actually the conscious mindset. It's actually bliss. Plasma is like amazing and bliss. Like the whole universe is made out of plasma. I started digging into this, and it was fascinating what plasma does. I thought plasma was, plasma's in our blood, but pretty much the whole universe is made of plasma. And then is what's interesting is after he opened these doors, I don't know, he opened some kind of sacred door, and some people are speculating it was like some evil door. And then the plasma disappeared. And then I didn't think of this too, is when things kind of started really shifting in the world, right? So I don't know if that has something to do with this too. And you got to check out CERN too, because CERN is a whole bunch of the energy and the frequency on changing things too. But then we have the era of Aquarius time. So that's what it is. So anyways, that is what I'm seeing. You do you, whatever makes you feel safe, but don't be surprised if you see more planes crashing, because I do feel that they're going to continue because of the vibration and frequency. Jenny, those are on Netflix, yes. All right. Have a good night. See you guys.